Good morning. Happy Sunday. Wait, is it Sunday? What day is today? It's Sunday, right? Happy Sunday. Let me get situated. One moment, please. Okay, I think we're good. I think I'm good. I think I am good. Okay. Let's do hauling stuff. Yeah, so I wrote a bunch of stuff yesterday, and I don't know if it works. I have not been able to test that it works. And so I guess how am I going to test this? I need to wire all of this back up now, or not back up, but up for the first time now. And honestly, I need to move all these functions to a better place, because like 90% of the building utils is area utils. Added some more functions for some modular interaction functionality. So that got cleaned up on the interactable ISMC a little bit. But now I need to think about how interaction will happen on the area building. Because it's not something like the interaction that happens on it is not the same. Like when you click E on a building, it's not the same as like what will be when you place an item in storage or whatever. So I need to figure that out, and I guess I need to take a peek at the interaction interface here. So on the building area, if we interact, and maybe I should just override this on the area, although I probably already have. Let me see here. That is the area. I was on the area. Okay, interact, construct. Yeah, so it's all the construction because it's a building. Because it's a building. Every step of the way, the code is telling me that an area should not be a building. It should be something separate. And I keep ignoring that because I already have it set up to be a building. Yeah, I'm wondering, let me ponder here, perhaps, if I may. It's quite simple, really. It's quite simple, really. I could branch off this somehow and just, you know, isolate the two scenarios, like one when something is trying to be placed, and two when we're actually like trying to pull up the area panel or construct it or something. And yeah, I guess it doesn't have any of the base functionality because you don't need to construct areas. God damn it! Yeah, I should not have made this a. I should not have made this a building. But we're here now. I don't think it hurts to have it as a building. I just don't think it's necessary. So I think we're just going to need to make a function, like a static function for it, probably. So I have the store item and area here, but this just handles the literal inventory part of it. Karan, welcome in. Good morning. Good morning to you. It's morning for me, so I bid you a good morning. And I'm trying to figure out how I want to actually execute the interaction of placing something in a storage area with my current systems. I don't store item in area. Because basically what I need to do is just a little interaction, and I have the, so it will It would be nice if it were to happen with the interact with object task. And so that's why overriding the interact function would be nice. Now, I don't know how I would say if it's like a storage interaction or a show panel, show the UI interaction. You know what I mean? Not sure what I would want to branch off of there. What you making? I'm making a video game. RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural terrain. Is what I'm going for. So I'm working on hauling, like different. Been working on different colonist tasks for the past couple weeks now. I've done construction and foraging, and I built this like area system where you can define areas in the world and stuff like that. Grab a new seed here, 411. Seed 411 here. So yeah, usually I think you know, you would just define an area with just like a, you know, just a square or something, very static. But, or like a cube rather for a 3D world. This is a nice seed. We got 3 different colors. Yeah, here's a bit of the world, and then like the area itself, like, wraps around the terrain. So it's like it creates these voxels. And it's like, hey, you can tell your colonists, hey, go do stuff in this area, right? So, it's where I to spawn. Colonist. You can join my colony, welcome aboard. I can tell them, like, hey, go, you know, forage within this area, right? There's nothing in there to forage, but that's kind of what it's for. And I'm working on hauling today. And so these areas you can also store things in. And so he can haul to different areas, you know, if he has his inventory full. Ooh, I love the way that tree peeks through back there. That's nice. It's a nice seed. It's nice. Have you made any other games? Nope. First one. Oh, dude, look at that. That tree looks sick. The LOD on it is quite aggressive. Tell your top 3 favorite games. RimWorld, Vanilla WoW, Ocarina of Time. That's a pretty solid. I don't actually know. I know RimWorld is definitely my favorite. I don't know about the other 2, but those are probably good candidates. I got duped by some Witcher terminology in the bottom right. Okay. Welcome in though, guys. Welcome in. Good morning. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do about hauling things. How that interaction should work. I would rather not. I have like this state tree, right? And so right now, every colonist task happens through here, these 3 things. We get the task, move to the target location, and interact with the object. And I have these different like handler classes that do specific logic. And I have not made any other games. My first one. I've been kind of thinking like maybe I should lean into state trees more and away from C++. Although leaning away from C++ has been a regrettable decision in other realms of Unreal Engine. but it would like visually display the flow a little bit better. But then I would need like an individual state tree, like hierarchy for each task type, which sounds like a lot. And the state tree debugging options don't work that well yet because it's still under like active development. Is that C++? It is. Unreal Engine C++, so they kind of have their own flavor of it. Unreal Engine, they built like a whole reflection system on top of it. It has like garbage collection and stuff like that. It's also like that you can build noodles, basically. Like all these are like little blocks of C++, basically, for the most part. Some of them just lead to other noodles. Nice pink. I am using Unreal Engine, yes. Yeah, and so I would rather not, I would like to, where's my interact with object? I would like to just reuse this in a wholesome way and not have to like branch on it being a area. Like if I'm gonna interact with an area and I'm an NPC entity, I do a completely different flow. That's, you know, it's like either I could diverge here in C++ or I could diverge in the state tree. Which is why I was thinking maybe I should lean into state trees more. But then this becomes very specific, right? And less generic. Nice, I mainly do Python. I wanted to do C++ too. Nice. Unreal Engine is quite a bit different from regular C++. You basically don't use any of the same. You don't use any of the base C++ classes or data types or anything really. None of the STD, none of the standard library. This stands for standard, right? It's not a sexually transmitted disease, but a standard library function. Yeah, it's just every way that I think about doing this feels a little awkward. It feels like there's not like a great way to do it. My options are I can branch off of the interact function, which is an interface function. I don't know what I would use to branch off of that, but I could diverge there, and that way everything within the interact with object could stay the same. And it would be generic and work for all cases. That sounds really nice. Sounds awkward to be in here and be like, hey, if the interacting character is an entity proxy actor, would probably be what I have to do. Then do the thing. Do a different interaction. And also, I don't even know what they would be trying to place. I don't have the item. How would I ferry the item? I guess that would be my colonist task. Yeah. Task source actor. I guess I would need I could do an optional payload object that's context specific. Yeah, because the target actor would be, well, I guess I could use the within area actor. Actually, that could be nice. Let's go see. Where'd our guy run off to? He probably got hungry, so he's probably looking for food. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Oh yeah, he got stuck. Let's figure this out real quick, cause yeah, he needs to eat. He needs to eat. Okay, why are you stuck? You are in what state? What state are you in? You are in move to food or wander location. Okay, so you're still trying to move. You are trying to move. He's cycling through. It tries to eat the food. Could not find food item in inventory. Failed null interactable. Did I break the hangy tree? I think I might have broken the hangy tree somehow. Interact with object. Update colonist task. That should be unchecked. And then we would be passing that in from parameters, PCG, point, query, results, interact, payload. Do I output that from the query task? I don't see it. This is just get. Yeah, so I guess, is that always null then? Is it always null? That's never set from the, yeah, so I guess I never retested that after I changed it, huh? Yeah, well, I have no one to blame but myself for that. Okay, so I need to output and interact with payload instead of... And what was the, interact with payload? Where is it? Here it is. So I need to output one of these rather than a PCG point query result from the environment query task. Yeah. We can oh, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of settings on here, I forgot. And then what am I doing? I'm not even doing the typed ones here. I wonder if I could change the type. E, state, free, property, ref, F vector. PCG point, query result. And then I don't need the meta here. Okay. Wait, can I not get mutable pointer here? What is this? Get. Oh, I don't need, it doesn't need to be typed, which is nice, actually. That's nice. Templated, rather. But yeah, I need to, I guess, output also. I'm just gonna copy paste this real quick. Okay, we want an F. Interact with payload. Interact with payload. Okay, so I guess if test point, we output, what is the environment object result? Oh, I'm set, right. Okay, so interact with payload. Get pointer. Okay, so we have that. And then I would need to, it's a struct, so I can just set it to something. Although I should probably start with payload ref equals interact with payload. Not ref, it's that. So we're going to F interact with payload. Okay, so now let's start setting some variables here. Interact with payload. What are my options? Oh yeah, acceptance radius and all that. Where am I setting that already? I just set it to default there if it's not already. Yeah, I think that gets set elsewhere. I don't have to. Yeah. Okay, so it's always 30. Instance ID, right. So I need the interactable itself, point, environment item. Yeah, there we go. So we have that information. What program are you making? I'm making a video game, which will be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural terrain. Here is the world. This is the procedural terrain. Just a small section of the world here. I have underground caves, which was a massive pain in the ass, but it works now. And now it just made everything 10 times harder because now I have to consider there being concavity, which is a major pain. It's a major pain to deal with. And then here's the world. So I'm only generating a very small radius around the player. We're in Bloodspire Ridge is the zone name. Shadowvale Depths right next to us. The Ninja Village of Shadow. Valley of Echoes. Bone Wastes. That's a nice one. Whisper Crest Peaks. Emerald Enclave. Yeah, those are all AI generated names, but the world is procedural, as is the terrain, as are the biomes they're in. Yeah, right now I only have a couple different biomes, so it's not super exciting. This is like my plain, my meadows biome. And yeah, I need to do some better texturing and stuff. So like, this will be like a red zone where I want, you know, things to be like kind of red and stuff like that. You know, very fantasy, high fantasy type vibes. Complete with some floating rocks. Can I support in any way? You can just hang out, my dude. You can just hang out. I don't even have a project name yet. It's still called My Project. But yeah, let's go ahead and rebuild. We'll see if that works here. We'll need to fix the state trees. But today I'm going to work on hauling. I'm working on like the Colony Sim tasks, some of them. I've done construction and foraging, but there is no like colony storage yet. So I've written like a bunch of functions for that. Because there's no super chat option shown in chat. Yeah, you don't get that by default. You need to have, what is it, like 1,000 subs and then like 3K hours of watch time. So yeah, you don't get that for a while. I should have it soon though. I'm only a few dozen hours away from getting that soon. Camino, welcome in, my dude. Good morning. Looks sick so far. Hell yeah, thank you, my dude. I only got just a small sliver of gameplay that I saw you doing yesterday. But it sounds like a really fun game what you're working on. Camino is also a game dev streamer who is working on a RPG roguelite, very similar to my genres of choice as well. Okay, the hangy state tree needs to be fixed here. Environment query task. Interact with payload. Oh, so we're good now. We're good now. Interact with object. Make sure the interact with payload is wired up to the state tree property ref. It is good. Good, Anakin, good. Okay, should we try new seed? Let's try new seed. 412. We're approaching 420, so that'll be a monumental seed. Where to watch the full process of your project? Because I just subscribed. Well, all the VODs are on YouTube, so if you have enough time, you can watch all of it. I appreciate the sub though. Welcome in. So yeah, this one's a little boring. This is a kind of boring seed, but we'll test nonetheless. Let's where is he at? Where's my dude at? Okay, he needs to actually become hungry. So we'll need to wait a second, I guess. I probably should have changed that. I'm gonna go ahead and change that. I need to change the starting food amount. Right? Effects, default something or other, right? Set new character attributes. Food is at 100. I think, what is Hangy at? He gets Hangy at 20. Which, yeah, that'll take a while. So let's go 21. Then new seed, of course. 413. Still kind of a boring seed. But we're spawning in a meadows biome, which is actually not good for testing because it doesn't have anything. It doesn't have any collectible food. Where are we at? We are in Ancient Aqueduct. Next to the Temple of Xylos. And the Abyssal Trench, which is a forest. You'd think it would be an ocean. It's not. It's a forest. Okay, yeah, I want to... we need to grab a new one. That is not going to work for what I need. 414. Perfect. I'm going to spawn in the cave, though. Shit. Jesus Christ. Yeah, the starter experience, not exactly ironed out. Now, we got a nice big mountain here. Yeah, I need to make more tall zones, I think. More seeds. Not more seeds, more terrain parameters that get affected by altitude at a higher rate. Yeah, so I spawned in the cave. Can I get out? That's the question. I don't think I can. I don't think I can. I really need to work on the building a little bit more, because I could build some stairs, but they don't work no good. They don't work no good. I don't think there's a way out. So either I need to do the stairs or the deformable terrain, which I do kind of have working. I mean, it technically works, but it's not good. Okay, that didn't even... Okay, yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, so we need another seed, even though that was a cool seed. I need to spawn somewhere where I can actually test things. Okay, nothing is happening right now. 415. What happened? Okay, my world generation just completely failed. Okay, is this just like a bum seed? Not really, no. For each chunk in neighbor chunks to range in params, which I can't even see. Okay. Yeah, so we need a... I don't know what that... Well, I need to write that down. Seed 415 is broken. The first I've ever seen that. In 400 seeds. Okay, we'll try a new seed. Again, quickly approaching 420. Will we get there today? Okay, where are we at? Okay. Shit, this is also... Fuck, this is also not a seed I can test with. This one looks nice, though. This is a nice one. Well, you can see this does a good job of showing the difference in terrain gen parameters. Yeah, there's no food here. Shit. Okay. I don't know why, like the default, the forest is like my default biome. But all of a sudden I'm getting like, and this is an ocean. Jesus Christ. Almost to 420. It's been kind of crazy that again, ocean, that I haven't gotten my forest biome. 419. Also ocean. Okay, is 420 going to be an ocean? Is 420 going to be an ocean? That'll be so sad. Okay, it's not. Oh my god, it's a meadows though. Jesus Christ. I mean, there's a forest right over here. Maybe we can. There's a zone entrance chunk right there. You should add a jungle. Yeah, definitely on the list. Jungle, I want to do like a swamp, a desert, you know, all sorts of stuff. And I don't want them to be static either. I want them to be pretty dynamic as to what is in them, right? So it's not like the same forest every time, you know? Okay, come here. Come with me to the forest. Shit. Oh, come here. Come here. He's hungry. Come this way. There be dinos or dragons there? I don't know. It's all up in the air at this point. I need to take him to the forest so he can actually find food. So he's not starving. Let's go. I would sprint, but he doesn't have sprint. Ah, shit. Come here. No, you're going the wrong way. The food is this way. No. Why not both? Well, I need all the assets and the animations and the sound effects and the behaviors for both. It's a lot. It's not so easy, turns out. Turns out it's not so easy. Okay. Oh, no, nope, you're still going the wrong way. This way. Let's find you some mushrooms, my dude. Because you are parched. You are famished. And you need a hearty mushroom. Did he find one? No, he's going the wrong way. Come here. Sir. Sir. I think his pathfinding is having trouble. You can't just like directly follow me, you know? Here we go. Here's some mushrooms. There are your mushrooms. Yay, he did it. It works now. Okay. Lysander Everwood. Oh, I interrupted. Okay, sorry. His food is over here. He's a 21-year-old male half-elf shaman who is dumb and lazy. I can show you AI-generated quests, too, if any are interested. Lysander was not a bad person, but his lack of intelligence and inherent laziness always seemed to get him into trouble. He much preferred napping under a tree to applying himself. Unsurprisingly, very little has changed. As Lysander grew up, he wandered aimlessly, taking odd jobs, but never managing to hold down a proper job. Yeah, well, that kind of makes sense, because he couldn't find the food very well. I had to lead him to it. You can lead a horse to mushrooms, but you can't make him eat. This is a horse right here. Let's see what your quest is. So yeah, I sent this off to the Gemini API and it responded. Like all that information I just read, all got put into a prompt. And every class in my database, every item in my database got put in the prompt as well. And it could actually like pick things to like spawn in the world and stuff, but doesn't always do it. Okay, let me see here. Oi, you there, shiny armor. You look like you can do things, right? The Whispering Woods. They ain't been whispering lately. Dude, I have gotten so many variations of the same Whispering Woods, not whispering quest. It's so weird how samey the quests are. Eventually, I'll be passing in all the zone information to the prompt to give it like some context to go off of. But right now, it's pretty much I just say, hey, generate a fantasy RPG video game quest. Stop interrupting him. He's eating. I know. He's so hungry. He's so hungry too. They ain't been whispering lately, just silent and kind of creepy. Our village, Oakhaven, kind of depends on those whispers. Tell us when this river is gonna flood, maybe where the best mushrooms are growing, stuff like that. Oh, keeps us alive. See, that's why he couldn't find the mushrooms. The woods weren't whispering to him, telling them where their mushrooms are. Which sounds really fucking strange. It's like, come, eat my mushrooms. Yes, yes, good. Pop in there and silence them, find out what's going on. Grumpy sprites. Might be some grumpy sprites, or maybe those nasty gnarling rats got bolder. Make them whisper again. Tell me more about Oakhaven. It is small and kind and has always been my home, even if I'm bad at helping it. Now this is comfortable. I hate the shorts look, man. Oh, did you find the other stream? Nice. Yeah, I got 3 different streams going. What do I need to look out for in the Whispering Woods? Be mindful of the gnarling rats, nasty biters, and they travel in packs. If you see one, run. Also, the mushrooms near the entrance are good for making a stew. Keeps them on you, the wood spirits may be partial to mushroom stew. See, if I could actually get that encoded in the game to where it's like he just told you to make a mushroom stew or something, maybe he gives you a recipe for it. I think there was a mushroom underground that he just picked up. But yeah, it would be really cool if like he gave you a recipe for a mushroom stew that you had to make, and then like do some like Baldur's Gate-esque difficulty checks in dialogue, and like if you had the mushroom stew, that can be part of it. Okay, so we fixed it. We fixed it. So I'm gonna go ahead and commit that one, those files, which would just be, wait, where the hell was it? Environment query task. Yeah. So fix hangy state 3 not having an interact with payload. Okay, we'll come in and push those files. Okay, so we fixed that. We need to do hauling now, though. We need to get to work. We need to get to work. And yeah, I still need to make a decision on how this should work. It would be really nice if I could just use the interact with function. Because otherwise, I am going to have to diverge in the state tree somehow. Which is going to require some conditions. Feels a little messy. I'll be honest. And so I guess what I would do is I would come in here to the building area, interact. I would have to check if this is a proxy actor. If it is, a proxy actor, then we know we're not going to show the area panel, are we? Let me make sure that we're actually passing in the right information here. Interact with, execute interact. It would be the proxy actor. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so we'll have that, and then let me check out is interactable. Aha, I cast to my project character. And if cast failed, let's is a... Oh, is it a soft? Right? Wait, what? Oh no, it needs to be a const function. There we go. It's a proxy actor. We will have different logic here, so branch on that. Okay, and so if we're a proxy actor, I guess we should probably make sure that it's the right colony as well. So get entity data, and then I'll need to, I guess, cast this, cast to entity interface. Yeah, that's a much better way to do it. Yeah. Okay. Cast to entity interface. Get entity. Oh shit. Wait. Entity interface. I can't get entity? I guess I'd have to make it a I have to make it a I have to make it a blueprint native event for it to be blueprint callable. Blueprint native event. It's going to be kind of annoying. It can't be virtual anymore. Add virtual. No, we're not gonna do virtual. This then needs to be implementation. What is the number 30? It's the amount, it's the number of times I've hit the button. Okay, why are you, it's hidden into, yeah, so I gotta go, oh man, I'd have to go fix all of the functions there. Wait, how am I doing it in the NPC character, right? Colony data. Get entity, oh, yeah. Okay. Never mind. There is a way to do it. Never you mind. I need get entity data BP on source object, which is what I fucking had. I just thought I needed entity for some reason. So we will get interacting character. Is that the right one? An interacting character. Shit. Oh my god. I don't know which one's which. Okay, we're not gonna do that. I need to get the colony data. Colony entity data. Okay, if this is valid. If that's valid, rather. Then we need to check that this colony equals the colony that this area belongs to. Okay. That's the juice right there. Okay. What are you doing? I'm working on a video game. It's going to be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural destructible terrain and AI generated quests. That's what I'm working on. Here's a small section of the world. Here's the world map. What we looked at was probably about this big. I am in the Spiderwood of the Widow, which is next to Pale Moon Glade in the Ageless Woods, Ironthorn Ridge, Bitterroot Forest, the Boneyard of Giants, Lightspire Chasm. These are all great names. These are all banger zone names. How old are you, bro? Don't make me answer that. Don't remind me. Don't remind me. Where did the homie go? Where did the homie wander off to? Is he still hungry, looking for food, or what? Homie, where's the homie at? Oh, he wandered into the wrong zone. Yeah, you're not gonna find any food in that zone, my dude. God damn, these guys just really, you gotta keep them alive. They're trying so hard to not stay alive. Where is he? Oh, there he is. I see him. Look at him out there. He's running. Lysander. He's so dumb. He doesn't understand that there's no food in this zone. Look at him. He's just running around searching for food. The logic for that is just like, find a random reachable point within a radius of himself. Go to that point. Is there food near me? No? Repeat. So he's just running around with no intelligence whatsoever. And yeah, his traits are dumb and lazy. So yeah, he really doesn't get it. Give him a girlfriend so he will stop wandering. Is that what a girlfriend is to you? Is that what a girlfriend is for to you? You have an interesting concept of a girlfriend. I am indeed making a game. I am indeed. Let's go back to our logic here on the building area. Yes, so if it belongs to the colony, return false. If he doesn't, if he belongs to the colony, return node true. Well, I guess this is where I need to check the interactable distance, right? And checking the oof. Yeah, because I don't know what. I don't know which point he's trying to interact with. I only know the building. So when I store item in area, oof. Oof. Yeah, it's gonna be a little thorny. It's gonna be a little thorny. I guess I need to, on the is interactable, this is like whether or not it should call the interact function. So, oh man, I'm gonna have to like get the valid storage spots and everything. Yeah, that's gonna be, this is actually kind of thorny. Actually kind of thorny. I don't know if I can run the get valid storage slots on the game thread. I think I may have to put that on a background thread. Because there is no cap on the size of the area. So yeah, that could be infinitely large. It could be infinitely large. So is interactable. Man, I should really create my own task for this. This is all screaming create a new task in the state tree, and you won't have to worry about it at all. Really. I won't have to. I mean, the interact could be latent. That's fine. Yeah, I'm leaning another state tree task here. I am leaning another state tree task here. So what would that look like? Let me stop this real quick. What would that look like? I would have to do something like, well, I can put a condition on each one actually. Enter condition. Has tag. Process colonist task. Can I just like do some arbitrary logic? Or I guess I would need to create like a little blueprint condition, right? Object class. What do I have here? Float compare, integer compare. It'd be nice if there was an enum compare. Enum. Read the chats? What did I miss? Oh, you wanted me to say if you make a colony it requires a girl with eyeballs emoji? Is that what you wanted me to read? Oh, my drunk senior, good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. Are you FBI? Yeah. My state tree BP condition, state tree blueprint condition wrapper. I mean, I guess I would have to create my own condition. I don't know if those work now, though, because I'm running my state tree entirely on the background thread, so I don't know if those work. State tree condition. Wait, what about where's the my state tree condition? Where did I put that? Was it in blueprints? Where was that? Where was that? My state tree BP condition. That's why. I saw some misspelled var building utils. Huh? I think we're good. It compiles, so we're good. Why is chat showing up so late in screen? Either you are very far away from me physically in the world. It does take time for internet to travel, or data to travel, or you need to actually be live. Like on this, you need to have this stream, not rewound. Rewound? Is that the word? Because it seems like a lot of people on YouTube get behind because YouTube like pauses and unpauses the stream and stuff sometimes, like when you navigate away and shit, and it'll start from where you left off rather than going back to the live portion. So you might just not be live. You might not be looking at the latest. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, the condition. My state tree. BP condition. Oh, it's I need to extend from that. Right. Where the frick is entity? Okay. My state tree condition BP base. BP. What am I calling this? Like, is. I'll just say colony ask type compare. Yeah, well, we'll see if I can actually do this. My received test condition. Context. Can you actually do anything with that? Or I guess I need to have variables on here for like the task type. I think that's how you use this. I've never done a BP condition. I think I tried at one point. Colony task type. I assume expose on spawn. I need 2 of these. I need 2 of these. Equals task type. This is so stupid that I have to do this. Equal. That's all. That's all it is. It's expose on spawn. It needs to be instance editable as well. Okay. So let's put that on here. I guess I need the anti condition as well. BP colony types. If task type compare. I also need a. I actually need to go back in here. Isn't there like a attribute operations? It would be an enum. Boolean operation, compare operation. What is this? Comparison, I'll call it. Does that have the value? Yes, it does. Perfect. Okay. Switch. Okay, if equals, this is a compare task type, and this is going to be in task type equals, we do that. If the other ones don't make any sense, those other ones don't make any sense. But if they are not equal, okay. We'll see if that actually works. I don't know. It might crash. Oh, I need to instance editable, expose on spawn. Yes. Okay, so I will need to say if not equal, bind this to. Wait, okay, why can't I actually? Do you have other hobbies other than making games? Maybe? Does it matter? Does it matter? Compare task type. Hall. If it's not equal to Hall, we do this. I would like to bind you to something. That would be great. I should be able to on the. Oh, I see. Okay, the process colony task does not output the task. So we need to do that. Yeah, import it. Colonist task. Okay, so let's get that wired up here. Process colonist task. Yeah, we should output the task at the end. Key state tree run status result instance data dot colonist task equals task to handle return result. Okay, so we'll have to rebuild that. I did not have the information exposed that I needed to. Okay, 27 actions. Wonderful. 27 actions from changing one file. Yeah, I guess it was because I imported colony structs. Okay, so I guess I need to create a new task, actually. So maybe I should have done that in this scope. Well, I need to see if it even works first. I need to see if this even works. Okay. Okay. And close that. I just need to make sure that I can bind it now. Look at that. Not equal to Hall. And it's weird that this is just like a really, really specific enum comparison. Yeah, I guess let's build 420. Okay, goodbye. Say goodbye to seed 420. 420 was not the greatest seed. Okay, this seed kind of sucks as well. 422. Wow. 423. Okay. Okay. Bunch of bad seeds. 424. Oh my god, come on. Give me something. Give me something to work with here. 425. Oh my god, 5 in a row. You kidding me? There we go. There's something. Not bad. Bad. We got all 3 different colors represented here. I do have, never mind. I was gonna say that's a zone entrance chunk. It's not, it's just a cave. It's just some 3D noise. Okay. Let's spawn a guy. Let us spawn a guy. Okay, so that immediately failed, I think. Is in async loading thread. Yep. BP colony task type compare. God, that's so annoying. Zuck, welcome in. Good morning. Yeah, that's annoying. I thought I could run these on the background thread now. Yeah, I guess the... where's the assertion at? It's right there. So, like, the only reason it can't run is because of some garbage collection thing. If we're not in game thread, I mean, it's just an assertion, so like technically I guess it still works. Do I work on this full time? No, it's just hobby stuff for me. Okay, so is this actually an exception, or are you just like you're just gonna like get mad every single frame? Yeah, you're just gonna get mad like every single frame basically. Okay. Okay, so yeah, running the conditions, I can't do a blueprint condition, which is annoying. And it has like, I feel like it very easily could. It's making a duplicated object. It's like duplicating the CDO or something. And because it's on the background thread, it doesn't like that. So basically I have to create my comparison in C++. Is this what I want to do? Is this what I want to do? I have to do C++ for this. I would really like not to. I would very much like not to. I wonder if I could write a generic enum compare. That would be kind of hard though. You'd have to do it in a way that's not type safe. Yeah, I don't even know how you do that. Is that worth it? But I could try to do all of this in the task handler function. I could just do all of this in the task handler function. We would run the move to node, that would finish, and then we'd hit the interact with the object node, and I guess that would fail. That's the problem, is that the interact with object task would fail. So we need to not run that. That's frustrating, man. No matter what way I slice the cake, it's not satisfying. Is this an indie title? You can't tell? I am the only one working on it. So, yeah. God, no matter what way I try to do this, it all feels awkward. Yeah, I don't want to just handle it in the handler class. I don't want to... I mean, I guess the easiest way to just be branch here. If target actor is... Do I even have the data I would need to do so? Should I put move to location on here? I don't know what I want to do about this. What do I want to do? Technically, I do output that from the task handler, right? Location. Move to, yeah, the interact with payload. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna write that condition and task. Hydrox seniors. See you later. Have a good one. Yeah, I mean, even the condition feels a little weird too. Like, okay, so what I know for, let's do what I know for certain, and that's I need to make a new task. We're gonna make a, I guess, yeah, just U object. This is going to be store, put in storage task. This is going to be put in storage task. F my state tree. No, what is it? Entity state tree. Entity state tree. Entity state tree task base. Import it. F put in storage task. Use struct. Category. Entity. What do I use for my category? Entity system or something? My entity system. Let me see the game. Well, you'll need to hang on for a second, because I am in the middle of working on something, and so it will not compile at the moment. And then put in storage task. It's going to need to take in the interact with payload. Yeah, this is actually an input now required. Interact payload. Does that have everything I need on it? I guess I need like the colony task perhaps as well. But I can always just get that. I can just get that from the colony data. I've seen all 3 of your streams. You did the real Tour de France there, didn't you? Give me a task like this. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what this is gonna look like yet, so I'm just gonna. We may need a tick. I think we'll need a tick. So my tick. I think we'll do that. Okay, is interact with payload all I need? Because then I get the task data. Otherwise, I do need that condition. I do need to make it. It's so annoying. I have to make a whole class for this. Colony. I could just make it even more generic and just do colony task compare. But then I'd have to create like a list of fields on it, which is so annoying. Colony task target compare. That's what it's gonna have to be. My entity system is F. Entity system BP state. What is this? Entity system. What am I doing here? State tree task base. What about the? Where's my condition? Here we go. My state tree condition BP base. Do I need to use the BP one? I think I just use this one. Oh, it's a U object. Oh. U class. Have you ever been to India? No, I have not. Okay, so then this is going to need to be. What do we need this to be? What are my functions here? Test. I just test condition. TS crazy. How are you managing? Are you saying TypeScript? Is that what you mean by TS? That's condition. I have context. Then I guess I just make U properties here, right? Probably need them to be public. Edit anywhere. Blueprint read writes. And then so this is T enum as bytes. F or E colon it. Yeah. That targets TS equals this. Is that an actual? Is JS typo? So now it's JavaScript. What? I'm kidding. It's crazy. How are you managing? TS means this is. Does it? Is that a new thing? Am I old? I mean, I've been writing code for over 10 years now, so I manage quite well. Thank you. Colonist task target, in target. I'll need another one for compare target, and then I'll need a U property. Edit anywhere, blueprint read writes, T enum as byte, and it's like an E comparison, compare function. Less greater, oh Jesus Christ, that's a lot. Is there a simpler one? I mean, that works. Also, that doesn't seem to be blueprintable. Is there another one? Compare result, E state tree compare. Default and invert. Yeah, that's not exactly what I want either. I guess compare function. I guess we'll stick with that. We'll see if that compiles. I don't think it will. Just started learning about game development. Wish me luck. Yeah, good luck. Yeah, I knew that wouldn't do it. I knew that wouldn't do it. What other? Oh yeah, I did the attribute value compare. What did I use for that? Generic AI check. Of course. How could I be so foolish? How could I be so foolish? Does that work? Okay, so then I have to import it then. Okay, I'll import it. Fine. Have it your way. Have it your way. In target, I'll just say if compare. Well, let's do a switch case. Switch on comparison. Come on. Switch on comparison. Bro, Ryder is just not helping me out here. Case equal, yeah, give me that. Okay. God, man, the and then default I guess false, return false. Okay. Enum is not intended to freeze with enum classes. Oh my god, I can't do I can't even do. Wait, how did I expose it in the other one? Oh, I just did. Okay. I thought you had to do T in a misbyte. I guess not. Okay. We built. Wonderful. Okay, so you are going to be deleted now because you don't work. Force delete. Okay, it just closed the entire state tree. Beautiful. State tree condition wrapper replace with colony task target compare. I guess I need to default that. Let's default that to equal. There we go. Equal. Oh, and I did the wrong fucking one too. It's task type. Okay, rebuild it. Task type compare. Yeah, that was all wrong. I guess I gotta like refactor the whole thing. Edit, rename, colony task, type compare, and it feels really weird. I'm making a whole ass class just for comparing a single field. I'm not sure that there would be a better way to do it though. C# or C++? This is C++. Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine is in C++. In learning term, how hard could it be for me learning game development? I mean, that answer is different for everyone, man. I can't answer that for you. The only way you'll be able to answer that is by trying. And the more you try, the better understanding you will have of what that answer is for yourself, because everyone is different. If you have any tips for it, do please tell me for beginners. I mean, I don't really know that there are. I don't have a satisfying answer for you. I'll say that. Game development is very large. There's a lot of different things. So it's kind of hard to just give general tips. Because there is just so many different things. There's so many different ways to do things, different engines, different languages, or video game genres, different. It's so there's so many variables that it's kind of hard to give generic tips. Okay. Not equal. Shouldn't you use a method inside either the colonist or the task itself to compare them? My class seems overkill. I agree with you that the class seems overkill. It's kind of just how the state trees work. If I need an enter condition, I have to create a class for it. And usually you'd just be able to use blueprints, which are a little bit less overkill, like a blueprint class. But because my state tree, I run it completely on the background thread, I cannot use blueprint conditions. They crash. They crash the engine, basically, because they can't run on the background thread. So yeah, if I need branching logic in my state tree, I have to make a class for it. And yeah, that was one of my considerations. Like, do I want to, like, this is an interact with object task. Like, do I want to branch inside that task? That was what I was considering earlier. And this interact with object, it entirely affects the interaction interface. And so, you know, the thing I'm trying to do is kind of outside of the interaction interface. And so I felt like it would be weird to have a task that is a single task that is overloaded for just every case, right? It seems weird. And it's only like, this is just like a singular case. So I felt that it should have its own state tree task to be more modular. And in doing so, yeah, I have to create my own class just to compare one single field. And there's probably a more generic way to do this. I think the problem is that it's an enum. I'm comparing an enum because, like, I could compare floats. Like, I have attribute value compares and stuff like that. I think because it's an enum, it's a little bit harder to compare them without being strongly typed. You know what I mean? I guess you could just pass the string values in there. Would that even work? Where's the string compare? There's not even a built-in. Oh, wait a second. This is enum compare. Wait, how did I not see this the first time? What? How did I not see that the first time? I was literally looking at that. Ryan, thank you for the question that led me to finding this. I was like, yeah, there's probably a way you could do it, but it's kind of a pain. Couldn't you just use a lightweight SQL or NoSQL file-based database to handle the game states such as SQL Lite? Why on earth would you want to do that? Why would you want to handle state in a database? What gave you that idea? That sounds awful. Why would anyone handle state in a database? I mean, yeah, you could. Doesn't mean you should, though. That's kind of a... Why would you want to handle state in a database? That's not what databases are for. Dorizd, welcome in. Pick a fight with Project knowing you'll lose, but learn. Only game dev tip for starters. Yeah, I mean, yeah. General tip is just like, yeah, just learn as much as you can, I guess. You know, don't go in with sky high expectations. Maybe it'll take a long time. Yeah, and you will have to learn your own way. You sound like someone who's been in the industry for quite some time. Well, I'm glad I'm good at coming off that way, because I'm not in the industry at all. I'm just a software engineer. Persistence. That's how web apps handle persistent states for multiple users. Yeah, but there's no persistence. Like, that's not... Yeah, that's how web apps handle, like, users' settings and shit. Like, state is handled within the application for the most part. And yeah, if you need to persist things, you do it in a database. This is not You would not want to use a database in that way for game dev. That is not, you would not want to do that. Databases are actually quite slow. And for persistence, you would do something like binary serialization. Is a better form of it for game dev if you wanted to persist it. But that is, you certainly do not, you can't read and write from disk at runtime in a reasonable time frame. All of that is latent. That's a very latent action. So you need to work on things in memory. And usually when you talk about state in applications, you're talking about an in-memory state, right? All of the web frameworks out there have their own state management, right? There are many different state management solutions. And yeah, you can persist things in a database. You don't persist the app state in the database for the most part, though. You may persist some user settings, and then you may also cache some state in like the browser instance storage or in the user cache. You would not want to use a database for, saving the entire app state for every user. It's just it's kind of that's overkill. If you want to talk about overkill, that is overkill. Invert, I think, is what we'd want. Hall, just not equal to Hall, basically. How didn't I see that at first? That's so crazy. I want to know how they wrote that. How did they write that in a... I guess, can you do an instanced struct on an enum? I'm actually curious now. What was this condition called? What was that condition called? Enum compare. I've been working on this project for over 2 years now. Enum compare. How did they do that? F state tree. So they had to create their own struct. Enum that can be any type in the UI. Helper class to deal with any enum in property binding. Oh, okay. So they store it by the integer. Oh, you can do a T object pointer to a U enum. Okay, I'm learning. Interesting. And there's no, I mean, this is it. This was easier than I thought it would be. Yeah, I forgot you can, I forgot you can reference enums by like the U object. The reflection system in Unreal Engine really takes some getting used to. But my new state, let's add our new task. Wait, did I create the task? Put in storage. Put in storage task. There we go. Unreal Andy. Honk. And a good honk to you, good sir. And a honk to you, good sir. And this is going to be put in storage. Put in storage. Required conditions. Enum compare. How did I'm so baffled at how I missed that. Task type. If it's equal to Hall. And I guess this just needs to change, the transition needs to change to next selectable state. And that way it'll go here. We can't do that, so then go here. Okay. What am I trying to accomplish? I'm just doing some state tree things for the game. So let's just make sure that still works then, I guess. Yeah, so I'm working on an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural destructible terrain. Here's one small portion of the world getting generated right now. There's like different zones and different biomes and stuff. Only have a few of them at the moment. Only a few. Let's get ourselves a colonist and get this tested. Oh, oh no, he's stuck up there, isn't he? Oh, he's stuck. Okay. Try again. Okay, you might be stuck up there too. Oh, jeez. Riz, thank you for the follow. Yeah, he's goddamn. Okay, this is kind of a bad seed. It's kind of a bad seed. We'll try a different seed. 426, 427. How about that? How about that? Ah. Oh, what was the question that led to the database discussion? Oh, and Ryan, I'm sorry for laughing at that. I didn't mean to. Probably came off quite arrogant there. My apologies. I'm doing state tree things, and I didn't think that there was a built-in enum comparison condition within the state tree task, so I created my own class just to compare basically one field, which is like overkill, right? That feels super overkill. And then he asked, couldn't you just use a lightweight SQL or NoSQL file-based database to handle the game's state, such as SQLite or UNCLite, UNQLite? And yeah, that's really overkill. Like you wouldn't want to do that. That's not what databases are for, right? You're not supposed to store state in a database. You know, like I said, you might persist some user settings in there, but state is, you need an in-memory state is what you need, right? Like if you're doing web development, you don't store the web app state in a database. It's an in-memory state solution, right? And the same would go for game dev. And for game dev, it would be very, very slow. Like databases are actually quite slow in terms of that kind of latency required, right? Like, and you wouldn't even like you don't really use a database unless you're making an MMO or some sort of persistent online game. Oh, I need to change your change that back up to 100. Change your food level. I can't have you running around. Because it's slow. So you really only do that when you need to. And games use they more so use serialization, right? They serialize to disk. That's more so what you would use for persistence in a video game, because it's faster. It's much faster. I even tried to, I thought I had a use case. I tried out SQLite and Unreal Engine. Yeah, it was really slow. It was really slow compared to binary serialization, which is just like writing raw data to a file. That's much faster. Okay, join my colony. Let's get you to just forage within a radius. I don't even know if there are any mushrooms there. It doesn't look like it. Okay, we may need a larger radius then perhaps. 50 meters. Still, is there no mushrooms in that radius? Okay, you know what? I just need to tell him. Let's go find one. Oh geez. Okay, come here. Let's go find you a mushroom. No, come here. I need to make sure that you still work properly. Okay. Go get that mushroom. You still work? It does. Okay, so the attribute or the state tree compare does work. Okay, and we're gonna do it within a radius. Okay, you got that one. Cool. Recommended again, so tuning in again. Welcome back. How many hours of coding do you blast through before you go dizzy? Like in a consecutive... I mean, I don't know. I've streamed for up to 8 hours, and yeah, by the end of 8 hours, it's brain is pretty mushy. But streaming is different from just like coding, I do write code for a living too, so coding for 8 hours is no. I am no stranger to that. But you take little breaks. It's not like you never do it just for 8 solid hours. Like, that's kind of insane, right? Take little breaks, you get up, take the dogs out, get some food, you know, stretch. That's what I was going to say when I heard database talk, but I also didn't hear the beginning part of what the issue was. That being serialization, but obviously still not the solution to the original issue. Yeah, it's just, it's not... And I laugh because the way he said it was as if it was easier, but it's not. That's not even easier. Like, that is much harder, and yeah, I think he probably thinks I'm a dick now, and I feel kind of bad for that, because I laughed at it. But I laughed because the way he said it was as if it was that, oh, that was so much easier. I'm like, no, that's actually like 10 times more difficult than what I'm doing. So Ryan, if you're still here, I'm sorry. I wasn't really thinking very hard about how I was coming off. It's like truckers working for several days in a row only to hop on Truck Simulator. Yeah, it's just maybe a little bit like that. I think game dev programming is quite a bit different than, you know, I work on web apps for a living, basically, so. It's quite a bit different. It's a lot more fun. Doing game dev is so much fun. Okay, so yeah, let's work on our put in storage task. Let's work on this. So I need to, well, I actually need to give him the task, and also we're gonna let's just stop the game here for a second. Yeah, we're just gonna not do that. Yeah, so that's gonna go. We're not gonna use the interaction path anymore. So is interactable, that is interactable. Yeah, we're not gonna do that either. Okay, so I need a hauling task handler, actually. Where do I put the task handlers? I forgot. Here they are. Unreal class, task handler, colonist task handler. We're gonna call this hauling handler underscore default. Okay. Let's override some funky wunks here. Handle task implementation. Maybe I'll need that. I don't know if I need that. I do game dev for the government training simulations. Oh, that's pretty sweet. And it's still much different than personal projects. Personal projects have much more soulful interaction than doing stuff for work, I feel. Well, yeah, because you actually get to make like your own decisions, you know? For me, that's like having to do what other people tell you to do is like when it's like, oh, I feel like, you know, there's a much better way to do this. And like, well, no, we're going to do it this way. And it's like, oh, okay. Like having to, you know, listen to managers, product managers and stuff like that is, to me, that's like the kind of the worst part is like, you want to do what's best for the application. You know the space very well. If you're writing software for, you know, whether it's web applications or government building training simulations, you know, there's you know a lot about it because you're in the space, and then you're writing the code. Like, so you know, I assume I'm gonna go out on a limb and say people who write code for a living they have an above average level of intelligence. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that. And so, you know, the product managers might not necessarily be there. There's a lot of really, really good product managers out there. And so it's frustrating to have to just get told what to do. It's kind of soul crushing in a way. When you want to like express yourself and be creative in your solution and do your best, but you can't because Other people are telling you that you have to do it their way. Yeah, that's why personal products hit different, at least for me. And especially with like something like game dev, like you can, it's a very, very expressive way to program, right? You can have a lot of creativity with it. And also just seeing the results like in a world, that's really fun. You get to play the game, you know? That's fun. Anyways, hauling handler. Handle, interact, finish. That should go second, actually. They want to do what's in the software spec doc written by people who have no clue what's going on. Yeah, the doc was written months ago. It's already out of date. Requirements have changed 3 times since then. And, you know, the users that you originally planned it for are now gone. Because you didn't do it very iteratively. You built a product no one uses. And everyone wants it to be perfect because of some rating or score or performance review, you know, that they get graded on. Like, oh, everything has to be perfect before we release. Otherwise people won't use it. But then it takes too long. And people don't end up using it because you just assumed what they wanted instead of trying to get something out the door and iterating on it to get feedback quicker. I'll get off my soapbox. What do I call this in the other classes? Parent result. Yeah, so that goes at the beginning of every one of these. What's your take on vibe coding? I'm too lazy to type out everything, so I lay out the system and let AI do it. How hard will it fuck me down the line? Self-taught already made an app without AI. Yeah, from what I've heard, it will, you know, I think the general consensus is just like use AI for things you don't care about, right? I've vibe coded some functions here and there. You know, I have a file of like geometric like geometry functions and algorithms, like oriented box to box overlap. I have like a DDA algorithm. Like the more general something is and the less you care about it, like that's a good use case for AI. But if you care about something, like you should probably be having a more vested stake in it just by nature. And when you have a more vested stake in it, you're going to want to, like I said, have that opinion on how it should happen. And yeah, from what I've seen online, you know, if you look at the code, if you entirely vibe code a project without like holding its hand the entire way and like telling it, hey, this is how you need to structure the code as well, not just like, because like there's kind of 2 different ways to use it, right? Like you can prompt by behavior and you can prompt by implementation. I think if you only prompt by behavior, hey, here's the behavior I want, and you just keep prompting until that behavior is satisfied, you will end up with an unmanageable mess at the end of it. It'll be unmaintainable. It's gonna be garbage code base. But I think it's great for getting things off the ground for prototyping and stuff like that. Again, the more general your use case is, the more generic your use case is, the better AI is gonna be at it, because that's what it does. It's fucking generic. That's what the AI slop. That's what the slop part of AI comes from. Like, it is just autocomplete, right? It is a statistical average of whatever you input into it, right? So turns out the more generic something is, the less useful it is, right? Like you don't make useful products by solving generic problems, right? You make useful products by solving specific problems. Yeah, that's prompting by behavior. Now you can prompt by implementation, and you can say, here's how I want this thing implemented. Now that's what I have to do, because if you have an existing code base and you're a software engineer and you try to vibe code because your organization tells you, hey, you need to start doing this, you will need to prompt by implementation. If you do not, it will, you know, maybe it will satisfy the behavior, but like I said, it will create something unmaintainable. It'll do it in a suboptimal way. You know, it's not going to be readable. And so the whole flow of like, you know, write a really detailed prompt of like how to implement it down to put this in this function, put this here, this is where you can use this. You got to get all the right context files for it, only for it to half the time, you know, go off the fucking rails. You know, I don't know if it's half the time for some people, but feel like the more mature your app is, the harder it is to use prompting AI. Like, I love the autocompletes. Those are great. You know, I can autocomplete entire test files at work now. So that's fucking fantastic. I love that. So, but the vibe coding flow when you're coding by implementation or prompting by implementation sucks. It is so like, I don't know about you all, but like, I think like the way I figure out how to do something is by coding it, right? And I know a lot of people aren't that way. Like, a lot of people do the design first and then they write the code. I find that when I do that, I always miss things because I'm not writing the code. It also doesn't solidify itself in my head very well. So for me, vibe coding doesn't work very well. And it's kind of taught me that, like, yeah, I figure things out by writing code. That, you know, that like puts little bookmarks in my brain for like, okay, I'm gonna do this over here real quick. And you know, I just kind of like, you know, it's very, very iterative, right? So I always go back, you know, step one is always just make it work, right? And then I always go back, okay, how should this happen better? How should this actually happen now that I understand it, you know? And so you really have to understand how everything works before you prompt it. And for me, I'll already have written most of the code by the time I figure out how it all works, right? And the writing the code part is never the bottleneck of software engineering, right? It's all the thought behind it that goes into it. That's the bottleneck. And if you let AI do that for you, that's the prompting by behavior part, right? That's the prompting by behavior flow. It's not gonna do everything correctly, right? It's not there yet. You know, will we get to a place in the future where no one needs to understand how the code works? Yeah, maybe. Software engineering may change entirely to where we're not engineering with code anymore. We're engineering with the English language, with like specs, right? Or like we're engineering by requirements documents. You know what I mean? We're engineering by some form of, you know, like automated testing, basically. You know, we may get there. We're not there yet. And even though the AI is really good and getting really, really good, you know, every month, I still think it'll be a while before we get there. And even though the technology improves at a certain rate, the rate of human adoption is always much, much slower. Like, there's still some people who aren't on the cloud, you know? Favorite use of AI is IDE-based tools. So like you said, some generic functions are where I use it the most. Like you're saying, it sounds, use AI to create tools that you can then use. Yeah, like if you don't, like if it's just like a script, you know, like the smaller piece of functionality it is, the better it is to use on it. But also, like, once it's small enough, then it's like you might as well just write it yourself, because it's probably just quicker to do it that way. Or even like a single one-liner you would normally need to look to do documentation for a function call. I mean, I usually just look at the source code of whatever I'm using, right? And so like I usually look at this, you know, like these autocomplete. This is basically me looking at the documentation. I was like, oh, interact with payload. Where does that come from? You know, where does this come from? Like, that's usually, well, I never need to leave the IDE to look at documentation stuff for the most part. And what to you are the pillars of knowledge for programming in general? What are the pillars of knowledge for programming? I've made some cool stuff that works pretty well. All about programming content seems cryptic, as if there's some secret behind it. I'm not sure what you're... I'm not sure what you... I don't know. That's a difficult question to decipher and a difficult viewpoint for me to understand. So I'm not sure where you're coming from when you say all about programming content seems cryptic, as if there's some secret behind it. I don't know. I don't understand what you mean by that. That is not the takeaway I have. I've learned everything that I know from free information on the internet, right? I'm a college dropout. So that's pretty opposite of my experience. It seems like developers, software engineers are some of the most open and sharing people, you know. Like, what other industries is there that much open source? Like academia, maybe? Or like, you know, science papers and stuff? I'm also not sure what you mean by the pillars of knowledge for programming. a certain point, learning to learn can become aimless. But if you have a project, finding solutions to accomplish certain things gives you a targeted curriculum. Yeah, that's always how I've learned, right? I don't like doing the courses or the tutorials and stuff like that. I just can't. It never solidifies in my head, you know? Like, if I don't use it, I may as well not have even read it, right? It's like all that shit you learned in school that you just had to memorize and regurgitate on a test. Like, how much you don't remember that. You're not actually using it for anything, right? So yeah, vibe coding, you know, I like using AI. Autocompletes. The autocompletes are really nice. They're not so great for game dev, I feel like. But yeah, vibe coding, I don't like to do it. I actually find it to be quite frustrating. Because it's like, by the time I have all of the information to go into a prompt, you know, unless it's like some general, you know, like, oh, I need a trilinear interpolation implementation. You know, like, that's an algorithm that's been solved a million times over. AI is just going to one-shot that easy, right? And it is kind of arduous to type all that out. So, but there's just not that many scenarios in regular software development where you need that. In game development, there are plenty of scenarios where you need some geometry that's been figured out already, you know. But in regular software development, there's just not a whole lot of, like, there's not a whole lot of leet code algorithms you need to do, right? Like, and so trying to vibe code things, I guess, I mean, I don't know, like, every time I see someone rave about vibe coding, I always wonder, like, what type of project are you working on? You know, and like, what is the life cycle of this project? You know, how are you maintaining it afterwards? Are you going to continue to vibe code it? Is this just a prototype? What kind of functionality does it have that it was so easy to vibe code it with? Because whenever I try to vibe code, like, by the time I have all of the information necessary to put into the prompt, by the time I have all the context, the right files, the look, like, I literally, to get it to even be somewhat consistent to do what I want it to do, I have to literally tell it, here's the function I want you to put this in, I want you to put X and Y at this location, and then that should call this thing. And it's like, at that point, I'm just writing code in English at that point. I might as well just write the code for the most part. I will say there have been a few times where I've been like, damn, that was really nice. And it was like, I would like one-shot some refactor. I'm like, hey, change all variable names to this naming convention in this file or something. That's, you know, kind of the boilerplate type task. It was a lot better at. But for actually, like, and again, this is like an application that has been like, that has existed for, you know, like 6 years. So it's a pretty mature application, right? With like many years of development and lots of business knowledge and domain knowledge. So that's why I'm always curious about what type of projects people are successfully vibe coding, because it seems like they might be really generic projects, right? And I just don't have an example. I don't have anything. I don't have a project that is like that generic or something. Like, game development is very specific, right? Like I said, there are those generic parts, those algorithms and stuff that you can like one shot, and it's really nice at. But on a whole project-wide scale, I don't have an example to apply vibe coding to such that it would produce a good result. Because it's just too inconsistent for me. Because it's like, yeah, you take all this time to come up with the right prompt, come up with the context, and only for it to, like, you know, fuck up halfway through. It's a frustrating flow for me. I do not have a CS degree. Me neither. So there are lots of bits and pieces of trivia when people talk about C++ and stuff that makes it seem like you need to know everything about hardware and obscure funcs. Yeah, you definitely don't need to. Like, you just kind of learn as you go, you know? But I guess I think I'm starting to understand what you mean now, because I did like feel when I did go to college for CS for like I took like 2 computer science courses, right? I didn't do very much. And like, I feel like they taught it backwards. Like I had a Python class and we learned about how to write all these different like sorting algorithms. And I'm like, what? It's like, that is good knowledge to have, but to me, that's not where you start. You start by just making an app, you know, you start by just, because that's 90% of development is like just making a web app, you know. 90, you don't need the fucking sort. I've never needed to write a sort function. I've never really needed to, right? Mr. Cloud, thank you for the follow. Welcome into the AI rant. So yeah, I do kind of feel like it's like, oh, you need to know all this like really specific niche information. It's like, no, you don't. So I think I understand more so about what you're talking about. You don't. You just like, you can just make a web app. You know, you don't need to it's like the equivalent of like if you taught baseball by trying to teach physics to someone first to like understand the parabola of a ball and the amount of force applied and the angle you need to swing the bat and the torque. It's like, no, you wouldn't teach someone that. You just toss a ball up and let them swing at it till they can hit it. You know what I mean? That would be how I think programming should be taught. When I try to learn programming, I notice that all I'm doing is copying the code I see on the screen. Dude, I did that for like 2 years. Yeah, that's how you start. When I actually learn like the anatomy of the code, what does this section mean? Why is it here? When I actually understand what I'm typing. Yeah, I mean, the first thing you need to do is just stop copying and pasting. You need to type out each line. And then in your head, read each line and say, what is this doing? What are the inputs? What are the outputs? Where is this coming from? Yeah, you need to slow down, basically, which feels shitty, but that's how you'll actually do it. A lot of answers, but definitely more experienced me, but I personally would start with a slightly more hand-holdy language like Java, not as holdy as Python to grasp the basics. I think Python and Java are both fine languages to start with. I wouldn't use like C++ or like Scala or something, you know. It's also why doing your own projects is so important. When you can't just copy everything, you have to find out how to solve something, and even if you're copying and pasting from different places. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's how I was able to drop out of college. Like I was doing my own projects, and yeah, I copy and pasted for years, probably like I started writing code when I was like 16, but I was really just copying and pasting code for like 2 years, which is like ye olde. That's like ye olde vibe coding. You don't prompt an AI, you just prompt Stack Overflow. Thank you for the follows, guys. Welcome in. Jackerman, Jabberita, welcome in. Makes you dangerous enough to accomplish your own ideas. That's an interesting way to put it. I think is only good in lead code questions. If you're talking about vibe coding AI, yeah. I mean, it can be good for other things, but that seems to be what it's best at, right? It's because these lead code algorithms, these are generic, right? Even though they try to put like, it's like every time you do a job interview and they give you leak code questions, of course they take a leak code concept and then they just wrap it in some like abstraction to make it sound specific. But really how you pass leak code interviews is by stripping away that layer of abstraction where, you know, the problem space, and you have to figure out what the underlying algorithm is and implement it. And so yeah, that is the kind of thing that AI would be really good at. And why, like, you know, what was it the other day? Like, there was the International Math Olympiad or whatever that AI like completed and everyone was raving about. I don't know that I see that as that. Like, obviously that's a marvel of modern engineering, but to me it doesn't show me anything that AI already hasn't. You know, like that doesn't show me that it's capable of new things. I feel like that's always the thing that it was capable of. Is taking these, like, again, on some level generic questions, like I know they wrap them up specifically with a specific wrapper on it, but you just unwrap it and there's a generic problem underneath it, right? Or a combination of generic problems. Already my fave coding channel, dude. You guys rock. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Happy to have you guys. I vibe coded most of my project for user/employee management, online orders, task scheduling, mostly CSS and JS parts, also mostly the CSS and JS parts. The security MySQL bits I did myself. Yeah, I mean that's a nice project. It's a good project to start on. Like, just, you know, that's got what you want. It's got user interface, you need persistence, authentication. That's a great starting project. That'll teach you, like, that'll kind of teach you the full flow of like an application there for, you know, for the most part, I feel. You probably have an interface. You need a login interface. You need to show, you know, read and write data, update data. You know, that's a good like full stack example of a project. Now, that being said, that is pretty generic. That is a pretty generic thing, right? That is like kind of the basis of working software. Damn, you may instead of playing games with friends, giving my wife is away for a month. Oh, damn, that sucks, dude. I'm not firing up Unity to make another side project game. Dude, I think I can't play games now anymore without wanting to work on my game. You know, I just get too inspired. So it can be a good thing. It can be inspiring. I'd say for a while, stick to doing the digging to solutions yourself so you can read people's reasoning behind their answers at least. Yeah, I mean, I think it just really comes down to you need to understand what code is going in to the project, whether you're getting that from Stack Overflow or AI. You just need to understand what it's doing, right? And like I don't remember the last time I looked up something on Stack Overflow. Like it's been a while. It's been years, probably. It's been years, probably. Actually, I mean, there's probably a couple small things that I guess if Unreal Engine had a bigger presence on Stack Overflow, then I would have used it a lot. But mostly all the knowledge of Unreal Engine is hidden in Discord servers or on the Unreal Engine forums or Reddit, not Stack Overflow, which is kind of weird. It's kind of weird that it's not on Stack Overflow. It should be. So anyways, yeah, that was a long rant. That was a long rant. Let's actually handle hauling. And I need to create that constructor here to specify the task type. Hauling. What? Haul. I called it haul. Even better for my project was that I'm going to use it for my company, but I tested it on the employees of one of my clients' company. He was like, go test it for a week and come back. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people would be kind of skeptical of just like, yeah, I vibe coded this thing that has, you know, security and authentication implementation. You know, it has employee information in it. There are security and authentication what am I trying to say? Implications. Yeah, I would, yeah, I think that was the proper response to that. You need to be careful. You need to be careful. Like, it's great that you did that, but, yeah, I would really make sure you understand the authentication that's happening, you know, hashing and salting, how it's stored in the database, you know. Don't be that fucking company that just leaked a bunch of, like they had a public database with zero encryption and didn't anonymize any of the data, and they leaked like a bunch of women's driver's license with pictures, like a bunch of women's pictures and driver's license and locations. Like, you don't want to be that company. So you need just really make sure that you know how to secure a database, you know, how to secure a server, how servers connect to each other. Make sure you got the SSL encryption, you know. Yeah, I think I think there are going to be a lot of examples of that, you know, coming in the future. So much of development is not actually writing code. So much of it. Yeah, let's handle hauling here. So what am I gonna, I need the colonist task to be populated with some things. Let me think here. So I at least need something that says And I guess the area. Well, I need to find the things to haul. Yeah, so what's the flow of this? Is it better to rent to a server company like AWS? I have zero context on... There's too many variables for me to tell you that. There are reasons to use it, there are reasons not to use it. I would say it's great for learning. It's great for learning how to interact with the cloud. So I guess the first thing is like I need to populate this with things to haul. Now, there are going to be things in the world. I guess maybe I should fucking do that. Well, no, let's just handle, there are things in his inventory. There are things in his inventory. I guess I need to distinguish. I need to distinguish between things he needs to haul in his inventory and things he doesn't need to haul. So I guess just in the... God, how am I going to do that? Because he's gonna, you're gonna want your colonists to like carry some like potions around, some gear around, tools and stuff, you know. So you don't want them to haul that. And I guess like, I guess it's anything you don't specify as a player to hang on to, you know. Well, I may need to create like a little interface for that of some sort. I don't know what university you live in, but there are loads of people I work with that are still making millions and their business still relies on Excel spreadsheets. Anything, yeah, dude, I 100% understand that, yeah. I did a lot of contracting and consulting, and like, there were a couple different companies I would replace that kind of, you know, it would be like an access database or something, which is a glorified Excel sheet, right? And, or yeah, they would just be doing everything in Excel sheets. And it's like they wanted they're like, oh, we should make a custom application for it. You should. That's great. That's a better solution. But it's like, if I just listened to what they wanted, like if I just did what they told me, I would have just recreated Excel 100 times over. You know what I mean? Like, it's so funny. And it's just because they don't understand, like what, you know, they don't understand a different world. And so it takes someone that comes from outside of their world to be like, okay, but why do you actually want an Excel sheet? Well, that's how, and the answer, you have to ask like why like 5 different times before you get to the root of why they want something. After the 5th why, you'll get something like, well, that's just how we do it. That's just how it's always been done. And you're like, well, we don't need to do that anymore. You know, we can do it the better way now. You know, we can come up with a better business process for you, and this software can support that, you know, and you can actually make a better product for them. But yeah, that's just to like support the point of like, yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily need to interact with the cloud. Like, people aren't going to be adopting AI immediately, even if it becomes, you know, a fucking artificial superintelligence or whatever the definition of that is. There's still like some server underneath someone's desk that's like a gateway, a nice gateway beige desktop in like a closet somewhere, you know. Or yeah, a bunch of Excel and Access databases and stuff. Like those are gonna outlive us all, honestly. There's gonna be a fucking solar flare that takes out everything except for these old ass servers, because they're just caked in dust. The dust is a protective layer against the solar flare. Hey, what you mean about the security? That's why I focus on it, despite being an overkill for most of the stuff I do. Yeah, no, it's what you should focus on for sure. Live spreadsheets. Yeah, that's high speed for someone who doesn't know, who has had to share spreadsheets with people. Yeah. 50-year-old off. Yeah, the boomers have never had their minds more blown than by online editing an Excel sheet. Which method did you use to learn C++? Try and fail. That's my method. Try, fail, learn, repeat. I can't tell you how many times in my old job I just had to write correct solutions and then just use pandas to export tables as Excel sheets for the old folk. you gotta help them out of that. You know, I feel like you're falling into the trap of just doing what they want. You know, they're like, I want a table for this. I need to see it in a table view. And it's like, well, that's not, you know, your data isn't relational. You know, it would be much better to see it in a different view that actually represents the shape of your data better, you know? A fucking solar flare, yeah. I think we need a good reset. I think we need a good reset. We need to slow down and learn. We're not, and if we could get some politicians who actually understand technology, that would be great. But I know that's asking for the moon. I know that's asking for the moon. Okay, so for hauling, there's so many different scenarios. It's actually probably the hardest task is just hauling things. It's probably the most complex task. So, oh, you hated the job? Yeah, so you just phoned it in. I get that. I get that. Yeah, so I need to come up with a list of things in their inventory that they need to haul. Now, what I'm going to be doing is, maybe I should start here then, because like on my forge task, I will need to add a haul task. But that haul task, I guess, needs information on it as to what should be hauled. Requirement for government position is to set up a printer and print. Oh, they also have to convert a doc to a PDF. 90% of them would fail that. That would be funny though. I agree. I agree. I remember watching the Zuckerberg trial, or not trial, the hearing or whatever, and they just did not, like, all the questions being asked. I'm like, dude, I can answer that. I can answer that. I'd been writing code for like in three years at that point or something, you know, like. Billy, welcome in. I'm learning Unreal Engine, and it seems everyone does visual scripting blueprints, which I hate. I hate them as well. Is there any area where you say don't do CPP? I mean, I don't think there's any like absolutes that I have, but generally all UI I do in blueprints. That just makes sense, you know. Yeah, I mean, the thing people say is like do all your base or core functionality in C++ and then have blueprints for like the subclasses, and then specify like your more specific stuff on there, I guess, because like I have that building system and I have different building classes that override like the C++ functions and stuff, so I do it there. I'm not fully happy with it. I do a lot of interaction stuff in blueprints because there's an interaction interface, and then the blueprints kind of specify what their interaction behaviors are. But yeah, I don't know the perfect split. I do mostly C++ because that makes more sense to me, and I also hate navigating around in the editor within blueprints. I think blueprints are very poorly organized in this interface. The girls go crazy over a guy that knows CPP. I only know Unreal Engine CPP, so I'm a bit of an imposter. Bit of an imposter. So yeah, I need to specify which item in the character's inventory needs to be hauled. The thing is, like, I guess on interact finished, I need to maintain a list of haul things, right? And so I have this handle interact finished. So this gets called back to from the interaction task once it's done. If the task queue is not empty, mark it as finished. Junior Mitchell, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. For those joining in, here's my actual name. Appreciate all the follows, guys. Deanie as well. Dean Yep. So yeah, I'm working on an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural destructible terrain. Here's a small section of the world being generated. Hi from YouTube. Had to log into support. Oh hell yeah! Welcome over to the purple side. I appreciate that. Can I see your okay, yeah. You do you do need to show yourself out after that one. This is actually kind of a boring seed. But yeah, this is the world this is the generated world map. All these different zones will be like distinct, and this is kind of a poor example of it. Let me try something different here. Let's try seed 430. 430. Okay, so we're like, this is actually ocean right here. I don't have water, so it's just completely flat. So also kind of a bad example. 431. Okay, this is also ocean. This is also ocean. Okay, 432. I really need to fix the spawns. Might bump that higher up on my internal priority list. Okay, here's a good example. We got a couple different terrain noises. We got 3 different ones. We got like a flat noise over here, nice spiky noise over here in this zone, and then this zone's kind of somewhere in between, right? So I put border mountains around each zone because I want them to create like distinct entrances and exits. You know, I'm inspired by World of Warcraft zones, and so I want them to be a little bit different from like Minecraft or Valheim, where the biomes just kind of procedurally, seamlessly blend from one to another, you know. I wanted there to be these distinct zones with borders, and all these white dots here are the entrances into and out of each zone, again, procedurally, like randomly placed. And so you'll have to find those entrances to get into each zone, and each zone has like a name. So this is like Emberglow Wastes, Emberthorn Vale, Wyvern's Peak, Phantom Mire, the 6th Circle of Hell. These are all AI generated, so they don't really make sense yet. Skull Valley, you know, and so I'll be able to tell like really cool stories within each one of these, and then make some things like really grounded into the world, right? I'm going to be doing AI generated quests, so passing in the zone name, passing in all the other quests that have been generated for the zone, passing in all the character information. I've gotten it to like, you know, I pass in all the classes from my item database so I can actually spawn things in the world. It is so terrible at picking a location. Doesn't really understand 3D space very well. But I also have like an entire ECS system so that I wrote my own ECS system so that I could run the entire world, or at least as much of it as I can. As much of it as I can. And I don't think there's any. I guess there's a zone entrance over here. I could head down here. But like to get from zone to zone, you'd need to either find one of these zone entrances. I will have destructible terrain as well. We'll see if I can have just proof of concept at the moment. Okay, yeah, it kind of sucks. It sucks. Okay, hang on. That's a homegrown animation. It's a homegrown animation. Okay, yeah, we're not going to be able to show that off. But there will be destructible terrain. I did my own, yes. Did you ever see Flex? I think so. This is fucking cool, man. Thank you. WoW zones are inspired by EverQuest zones. Yeah, a lot of WoW is. Yeah. And it's funny that vanilla WoW was actually considered to be like very casual and very amusement parky when it came out, because you actually had like quest markers, you know. Another way to get to the other zone is like you can maybe find some noise that kind of just lets you up there. But you can either dig, see, here we go. I can get to the other zone this way. But I think it creates this really cool like moment where it's like you've been in this forest, you've been traveling around in a forest, and you finally reach like the threshold into a new zone, whether that be a break in the mountains, whether that be, you can find an underground cave as well, right? You can find these underground caves, and sometimes they cross through the mountains, and they can give you a path into the other zone. I don't know if there are any here. There's a nice floating rock there, but it creates this really nice moment where you cross the threshold, and this new zone with a different biome just opens up, and I think it's like creates a really cool sense of exploration, and it creates this nice contained area for you to like finish, or for you to like go quest in. You know, it gives it personality, in my opinion. Versus these zones in something like Valheim or Minecraft, where it's just kind of like, oh, that's just this zone, that's a blank zone. You know what I mean? And you can see, for the most part, you can see it as you're walking up to it. You know, there's still exploration in there, but I just feel like it has less character, less personality to it. You solo developing this? Yes, I am. The squares are gradually loading in when the player goes there for performance. Yeah. The rendering part of it, because like I do still like I maintain the Like the nav mesh is still here, right? And this is for the ECS system, so that when the player's not around, the world still runs, right? I still want entities to be moving around, chopping trees and whatnot. You know, if your colony's here and the terrain unloads, I actually delete the mesh. The mesh isn't here anymore. But I save the triangle and vertex data, and I can export that to the nav mesh. There's a really convenient function to do it, and so the nav mesh just stays there. And then for PCG, like I can actually spawn things, usually PCG requires collision, but I kind of wrote my own collision system, right? So I can take those triangle and vertex buffers, and I can store them in a bounding volume hierarchy, which is like a spatial data structure. And you can really efficiently iterate through the triangles to check for line segment intersections. And this is how collision works, basically, for better or for worse. And so I wrote my own collision system. I wrote my own PCG node to sample the terrain, even when the mesh isn't there. And so this is how the whole world runs, even when you're not there, and still stays as memory performant as possible, right? Made a character animation with IK. It had like 5-6 comment section, and having 10-15. Whenever I look at it, I'm totally lost. Yeah, it's tough to look back at it. Yeah, following the noodles is a pain. I get what you mean. Why do you have WoW things there? Placeholders. They're borrowed. They're borrowed. I'm heavily inspired by WoW, so I'm just, you know, I know what the assets are and stuff, and there's a program you can use to just rip them from there. I even baked in some of the animations. But yeah, everything here is placeholder, so, you know, I'm no artist or anything, so I can't really create my own very well. Not good at that part of it. So yeah, I'm just using some WoW assets for placeholder stuff. That is the WoW casting animation. But yeah, that's actually my Meadows biome over there. Kind of hard to see. Now, there should be a zone entrance coming up here. I wonder if the 3D noise just kind of ate it. Is this it? Yeah, I think the noise did eat it. Yeah, so here's the zone entrance here. So there actually is a bit of a break in the mountains, so yeah, if I zoom out here, they're all the same texture, so it's kind of hard to see, but here's the mountain range, right? Here's the mountain range. So this is a single zone, and then this is a different zone. And then there's the break in the mountains right here. And then yeah, there's this giant crater right here so it almost created like an entrance here and then an entrance here. That's kind of interesting. And yeah, I think it'll be like just like really fun to like create colonies and like, you know, put walls around them, find really defensible positions in the world, like choke points and stuff like that. And, you know, you'll get raided by other colonies and stuff. So it's like, if you know there's a colony over there, you know, high chance a raid could come from that colony, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, we have some floating terrain. That's okay. That's okay. So that's a bit about the game. Back to hauling that I keep procrastinating on. On the interact finish, I guess I need to understand what loot I got from the interaction, which is interesting because I don't have anything like that yet. Are there gonna be mounts? Probably not. Probably not. I'm not a fan of like fast travel, and you know, having mounts means I have to like animate it and get all the assets for that and stuff like that. So probably not. At least not at first. I will have player-built like flight paths, where you have to get a animal handler colonist in 2 different colonies, and then you need to tame 2 different like flying, like a griffin or a wyvern or whatever, and you have to keep them maintained. And if if that colonist dies, there goes your flight path. And then it's not fast travel. You'll get onto it and it'll fly from one place to the other, right? So that'll be my fast travel. Hi, Marks. You stream daily? For the most part, yeah. Will I be able to swipe my card to buy skins before I even reach level 2? Hell no. Over my dead body. I hate even cosmetic MTX. I hate. I did joke about having MTX booba physics though. Jiggle physics. Jiggle physics. You got to swipe the card for that. You got to pay the gooner tax. That's funny. Yeah, so how am I gonna, how do I extract the loot here? Game ID sounds really cool. Hope everything goes just the way you envision it. I appreciate the follow. Thank you for that. I kind of hope it doesn't. I hope I come to some different conclusions as I build it. It's yeah, it's quite large. It's quite an expansive scope. But I'm just having fun working on it. I'm just having fun. So where's the interact with? I accidentally closed that. Interact with object. So I should get the loot after the interaction. It's not like returned though, right? It's pretty big. Yeah, I know. It's not about the size though. It's about how you use it. Yeah, the loot just goes in. So there's no callback for the loot, right? There's no callback for like the loot happening. How am I gonna, so the, it's usually like the interactable ISMC implements the interaction interface. What was that, the subscription? Why didn't my alert show? There it is. There's the alert. Dean Yep, thank you. Thank you for the sub, my dude. I appreciate that. I don't have much to give you. I don't really have emotes or anything, but I appreciate your sub nonetheless. Thank you for the support, man. I think eventually I'll have a, it's probably pretty far. I don't want anything. Well, that's even better. Even better. Thank you. I think eventually, thanks for streaming. Of course, I love doing this. Happy to have you all here. But I think eventually, like, once I get multiplayer fleshed out and working, I think I'll probably make like a little server and we'll just see how that goes. And then maybe, maybe we can, if it's working well enough, I can get some of the people from the stream in there so you guys can play the game. There's not really a loop yet though, so there's still quite a bit of work to do. I'm gonna say in a year. Give me a year and I think I'll have a multiplayer server that, we can dick around on for fun. And so maybe that could be something for subscribers or something like that. I don't know. I haven't really, it's kind of hard to balance, but like how much effort to put into developing the game, which is like my main priority, versus streaming. But then it's also like, people want to see the stream, so I should put some effort into it, right? It's difficult to draw the line, so I don't, just kind of do it every so often. Whenever I don't feel like developing, put some time into the stream, new alerts, an emote or something, But nonetheless, thank you. So here's the item. Here's the loot item. Whenever you loot something in the world, How am I gonna get this? How am I gonna get this information to where I need it? I could just like grab the last thing in their inventory. Well, their inventory is not compact, so it might not even be the last thing in there. You're offering more content than many million dollar Kickstarters. Yeah, the whole Kickstarter, like the scam games, right? The games that never get finished. That's an unfortunate way that went, because that you'd think at first glance, you know, like community funded games, it was a great idea, but then people just take advantage of it, of course. So it's sad to see. There is like isn't there yeah, I have a delegate. It's just called inventory updated though. I really think the best way to do this is to have like an inventory filter almost. I might need to create that first. I think that's going to be... Okay, let me write some things down. I think that's probably going to be the better way. Let's just write here, how to determine what to haul. In world, in inventory. There's two different ways. In world, I don't have anything like on the ground in the world yet. I just have the the forgeables and stuff, the interactables, not like the actual, you've dropped the item on the ground version of it. But how do I determine what in the inventory should be hauled? I can either have a list of specific things that get added, that I add to. That's what I was thinking of when I was looking at this. Because I don't get the output of this, and there's not really, with the systems that I have, there's not really a great way to pass that forward. Of course, I could just add another, you know, I could add a, you know, something on the struct and just kind of like overload it a little bit. It just feels awkward to have very specific things for very specific tasks being handled. It's more like an output of the interaction or something. Like I don't want to have a bunch of like optional payload objects on it. I think like the better way would be like desired inventory items, some system for this, because player specified desired inventory items per colonist, right? So you may want to say, hey, every colonist needs 2 health pots so that they can use them, right? And you may want to say every colonist should have a pickaxe or something, or certain colonists should have a pickaxe. Tools, potions, potentially just like other equipment, you know, like there is, you know, meds, you know, some healing items or something. I don't know how the healing and medical is going to interact yet. I should probably think about that. But I think at first it would be empty, and then the player would need some interface to be like, hey, keep a certain number of things in your inventory, and would want to specify that. And so whenever they interact with something, they would get something in their inventory that they don't want to hang on to. And so by default, everything goes into colony storage. And I guess there should be some logic for, let's like use a potion if you're below X health or something, you know? Some logic for that. Food probably is another example of something you'd want them to hang on to. I think maybe food, there should be a default setting for that. Like in RimWorld, I know the colonists by default, like they carry around a meal with them by default. But you can also say, hey, carry around some meds as well. But I want to take that and actually allow the player to say anything. And so specifying a list like this, I think is the better way to handle hauling rather than having it specifically, hey, haul this. Because otherwise, like, things are going to get stuck in their inventory, I think. Keep some amount of food, yeah. Okay. And so I think... where would this be stored? It's probably on colony data. Store in colony data. Question mark? And now this is getting quite large. Yeah, I think I can delete this now. This was an old... yeah. Delete that, actually. So, colony data. Right now we just have what colony they belong to, the task queue, and what handlers are specified. Task queue. Okay, so I guess I would want a U property visible anywhere. No, I want it to be editable anywhere because I want to set the default of it, right? Blueprint read write, save game as well, which doesn't do anything yet. And then I guess it would be like a T-map of, and I guess I need to do my item hierarchy refactor because this is going to be an F gameplay tag. An F gameplay tag. Or should it be a class? I think it should be a class, actually. T subclass of U my item and an integer for how many of that item. Desired inventory items. And I'll need some... I should probably work on this as well to like show, like the player should be able to inspect the colonist's inventory and like take things if they want to, right? Like, oh, I need a pickaxe. Do you have one? Okay, give it. Gib pickaxe. I should probably do that. That would be a good system. Desired inventory items, T subclass of my item. Yeah. Let me think here. I wanted a UI or like an interface for the player specifying a hierarchy of items, and I kind of built it out. I haven't like populated it with anything. But it would be like this, and it was kind of taken from RimWorld, where like these will be like equipment. You expand it, then it'll be weapons, you know, gear, items, I don't know, other things. And you can like select or deselect. And this is for storage settings on an area. But I think this kind of an interface would also be... This would also be needed for what I'm talking about here, for specifying the desired things that a colonist should keep in their inventory. And for food, I mean, I feel like the amount of food you'd want them to store is a multiple of... It would be a multiple of... Their like a food amount, like their food value. Their the number that increments and decrements when... or how hungry they are. I would think, because you wouldn't, like, what does one food mean? Like one mushroom, that's not going to feed you very much, right? One meal would. So maybe this should be a float. That way I can interpret it differently for the different types. Tools, potions, equipment. Yeah, for most things, I think it's just it's an amount. But I guess with like food, it kind of depends on what level you specify it on, right? Because you could just check the food box rather than what the individual food classes are. Yeah, this is, I think it's time for the item hierarchy refactor. Because I didn't want to just have a class hierarchy because I thought that would be really difficult to like traverse and like represent to the player. Like I would basically have to like manually do that, right? And I thought instead like gameplay tags would be really good for that because gameplay tags can be hierarchical. So I came up with like, yeah, maybe I should use gameplay tags to specify the item hierarchy in the game so that then I can specify it to the player. Like item dot equipment, weapon, tool, pickaxe, you know? And I guess the flow could be like how many stacks. So like you could say for like if it was a mushroom stacks up to 20. One would be 20 mushrooms actually. Whereas if it's like a meal, maybe a meal takes up an entire inventory slot. So you can say one meal or something like that. Although I think maybe a meal taking up one inventory slot is kind of a lot. Kind of a lot. Yeah, and I think if the player is going to be checking like gameplay tags and shit for how they specify this, using the class here, I mean, I guess I will need to represent the class too. It's not like I'm going to have a gameplay tag for every single class. That seems overkill. That seems a bit overkill. I don't want to maintain that many. Those are the tags are really just for the categories of items, right? So what would the key in this be? And so I guess like I do something like, you know, we have I'm terrible at this, so bear with me. We have like food. We expand that and we get like veg, meat. You know, expand meat. And you get this wolf meat. Human meat. Yes, there will be cannibalism, of course. So these are going to be gameplay tags. Fungal.white mushroom. Yeah, am I creating a gameplay tag for every item? I guess I was envisioning a fungal option as well. Or are these, is this one a class? Like once I get to the end of the gameplay tag, do I then search for all classes with that tag? and then put them here so that there wouldn't be the expansion wouldn't be there. It would just be the checkbox, of which there would be checkbox here. So if you check that, it checks those as well. But then if you you know, you don't want human meat, right? Because people aren't going to like eating that. You know, that's your state there. And then the T map would what would that be? Because if I had this checked, I mean, do I just put? Because having this checked, you're saying any of the following, if you check that. So having an entry in my desired add tax invasion, invading your taxes, like what, an invasion, a bunch of dollars come and invade your colony. Or a bunch of tax collectors come and invade. I think you mean evade. But yeah, so if you checked that, you wouldn't want wolf, comma, human in here, because that would be like saying, or wolf, you know, 1, human 1. You wouldn't want that. What am I doing right now? I'm trying to figure out, like, how to essentially specify what the player wants the colonist to keep in their inventory so that I can figure out what the colonist should haul. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm just trying to think through, because I had a plan for an item hierarchy refactor, so I guess I'm just doing that now. And I'm just trying to think of how this all is going to be represented. This is like a UI, basically, where the player can specify item types. Can you draw me in paint? Sure. There you go. I'm a child, ignore me. Okay. So yeah, it's strong. Like, there's almost like I might need 2 arrays or 2 maps. One could be the tag, and then one could be class. But then again, you wouldn't want to. Yeah, I think I need 2, unless I create a gameplay tag for every single class in the game. Every single item class has a gameplay tag. That feels overkill. But then again, like, why are Americans so chill? I don't know. Because the world is just on fire around us? I'm not sure. Should I just make a tag for every single item? Maybe. Maybe that's the ID. Maybe that's like my item ID. You know what I mean? Because it's not like I would want to create a class for every single one either. And if I have something like item food fungal, like white, I have a brown mushroom too. Do I want a specific, because how am I going to enumerate all the different kinds of mushrooms, right? How would I want to enumerate that? I have a data table. Item data. Where the fuck is it? Here it is. Items data. Well, I guess this is my current solution for that. And this has a class specified on it. I don't know. Hello everyone on YouTube Shorts, welcome in. I'm working on a video game. It's going to be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural destructible terrain. We are looking at some of that terrain right now. Here's the world that got generated. All of these are different zones with different biomes. I only have a couple biomes right now, so they all look very samey. But they have nice names. I'm looking at Emberthorn Vale. Beyond that are the Emberglow Wastes and Skull Valley. Ashen Wastes, the Arcane Academy, Third Haven, the Fourth Circle of Hell, even beyond that. A lot of work to do. Everything's placeholder right now. but we're making some progress. I'm trying to work on colony sim tasks. So I have colonists I can spawn in the world, and I can tell them to do things. Right now I can tell them to construct, and I can tell them to forage. I need them to haul. I created this voxelization algorithm to specify places in the world. It wraps to the terrain. And I need that because I have underground caves that I don't want to accidentally be selected by unknowing players, right? If you picture this cave as being right underneath this, if I were to just create a box and just say, hey, anything in this box is the area, you would also select that cave underneath it. And and these areas are for like, hey, go forage within this area. So you may accidentally send your colonists to an area that you don't intend to. That's why I had to write this. But now I'm trying to do allowed tasks, and hauling is next on the list. Abator, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Willkommen. Willkommen. So I need to work on the hauling task. And in trying to think through that, I realized that I need to understand what the colonist has in their inventory that needs to be called. I say called, hauled. And to do that, I think I need the player to specify what they want the colonist to hang on to, right? Should they keep some food in their inventory? Should they keep some potions in their inventory? Should they keep some tools in their inventory? When you want to play Minecraft but don't want to be a child? Maybe, yeah. I will have some ore and monsters spawn down here in the caves. But I'm trying to do quite a few things different than Minecraft. For instance, you know, I want it to be like a fantasy RPG, right? With different classes to choose from, different talent trees, and I want it to be a roguelite as well. I think it'll be really fun. It's a game I've always wanted to play. But anyways, yeah, I need to think about my item like hierarchy, basically, because that's what I'm gonna need to show to the player so that they can tell me, or so they can tell the game, you know, what storage types are allowed in this storage. Maybe you only want food stored here, and the same goes for what they want in their inventories. So I'm just trying to think through that right now. And I have, right now, here's all my items. It's a pretty small database. But I'm thinking that I want to do gameplay tags because they're very hierarchical, and that'll be very good for displaying things. I guess I could also write some code to like pragmatically walk through the item hierarchy. But I don't necessarily want that to be what's displayed to the player. So yeah, I think I need some abstraction, which are gameplay tags. I'm thinking like if I have gameplay tags for every item, you know, I guess the row name would be the gameplay tag. I would change that. Or maybe just get rid of item ID. Yeah, I don't think I would need item ID. But this is information. I would need all this information still in this database. But then yeah, I still need to tie this information to a class in the game. So yeah, I think what I'm saying is that I do want a gameplay tag for everything. But I guess I'm not going to specify the gameplay tag. It's not going to be a strongly typed gameplay tag, I don't think. Can you pragmatically add gameplay tags to the project? Here's a question. Oh god. I want to like define them. Because I think I would also want them to be accessible in editor. So let me look at this, like, what is it, project settings? Is that where gameplay tags are? Gameplay tags. List of data tables to load tags from. Bingo, that's what I'm looking for. What does that need to look like? Gameplay tag table list. It would be nice if I didn't have to create a separate table. With the row type gameplay tag table row. Fuck. Okay, so I have to create a specific table only with gameplay tags in it. What's the point of it then, right? Just so you can export it as a CSV? You mean to tell me you don't just know everything without looking up? No, contrary to popular opinion, I don't know everything. Yeah, I guess I can read the docs. We'll see if the fucking course. I hate how the docs have an entirely different structure from 4.2.7 to 4.5 or to 5.0. Ugh. New tag source. Clean up unused tags. Gameplay tag redirects. Gameplay tag list. You can add tags here. Thing is, like, I don't want to do a bunch of fucking extra work because I'm gonna have to copy paste in multiple places with this. If I can't use my pre-existing table, let me look at was it gameplay tag table row? Yeah, let me look at this. Gameplay tag table row. Oh, a dev comment. Okay. Yeah, it just has an F name. Restricted gameplay tag table row. Gameplay tag source type. Yeah, no, it doesn't do really anything too crazy. It's annoying that that it needs a specific row type though. Can I extend this for my item data? Let me try. Item data. Does that work? Does that work? Let's get rid of item ID. I don't need item ID. I literally never use it. I thought I would use it. I don't. What do I do here? I just log it. Now we're going to do tag. Log the tag. Did item data by ID? Do I use that? I don't even use that function. Yeah, get rid of this entire function. Goodbye. Okay, yeah. Delete the ID. Friendship ended with ID. Okay, I guess I can use that then. I can extend that. That makes sense. I like that. Okay, I think what I want to do is, I guess first of all, let's see if this works. So I'll need to rebuild. Actually, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rebuild. It'll take a second. Ooh, I need to get rid of that because that's not gonna work. I need to rebuild. Let's just return E state tree run status 16. Okay, for now. I'm gonna rebuild. I'm gonna grab some more coffee, take the dogs out, take a break, and then I'll come back and do some more. That's what we're gonna do. So BRB, everyone. Okay. Wow, it didn't build. Oh yeah, I never finished typing out that map. Appreciate the patience. Yeah, that wouldn't compile. Desired inventory items also, yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of decided that this is going to be an F gameplay tag. Now we can build, I hope. We'll see. We shall see. Hi, Mr. Famous. You want to come here? Come here. I can't reach you from over there. You're just gonna stare at me. Okay. Okay. Yes. So I made decisions. I think. We'll see how this works. So the decision on how to represent an item hierarchy in the game is pending if the extending the F gameplay tag data table row works or not. I have a fresh coffee. Feel great. I'm ready. This is my time. Now we just have to wait for the editor to load. As always. Come on. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's see how fucked up my item table is. I guess I didn't really think about how fucked up it would get. I thought it would just inherit, although I should have... Shit. Following data tables are missing the row structure and will not be editable. Shit. Shit. Hello, sir, reply. Do I hope I copy this to Sheets. Can I just download the old data? Fuck, I didn't copy my item table. Wait, what is this one? I don't know what that is. Shit. Okay, hang on. Do I want to open these data tables? No. Wait, it said it wouldn't be editable, or it just wouldn't work? Export as CSV. Items. Items. Okay, let me upload that into Sheets real quick. So I can potentially edit it if I need to. Missing. Oh, shit. Oh, I fucked up. Oh, I fucked up. Okay. Can I just revert? I guess I should have like a backup version or something, right? If I really need to. Wait, no. F table row base, yeah, that. Okay, hopefully that can recreate itself now. I really hope that can recreate itself. Otherwise, I just lost that data, which I can recreate without too much issue, but that is very annoying. Oh, I hope PCG didn't mess up and everything. I didn't think about that. I should have like saved that. I should have saved that.
shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. I shouldn't have said that.
That's what I feel like right now. I was kind of quiet, but you get the point. I should not have said that. Tag is not a member. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Okay, let's cross it. Pray for me. Pray for me. Cross your fingers. Whatever superstition you believe in, please do it for me. For my data tables. Yeah, I should really properly version control my blueprints. I should probably really do that. Fuck. Okay. Okay, let me check, let me check here. My drive. I forgot what I used here. Oh boy. So all the data is just, I can't believe they still don't let you like export. I cannot believe that. F. Oh, F's in the chat. Okay, I should have a history, right? Isn't there like the file restore? Okay, how easy is it to restore a file? Restore file. Man, so that like just deletes all the data when you change the type, huh? That's what happens. I wonder if I still need the item ID. Let's try that, because I did change. I don't know. I thought you could just like change that and it would be fine. Maybe that'll help. I don't think it will though. Back and restore with file history. Yeah, show me file history. Is it in backup settings? More options. Configure file history. Restore files to file history. Right click on the folder name. My project. I guess it's content data. Right click. Restore previous versions. Where is that? There we go. Restore previous versions. A long time ago. Wait, why is that the age? The latest I have is from 2024? The fuck? What about items? Restore previous versions. Oh my god, no. Here to leave a like and head to sleep. Well, I appreciate your like. Have a good sleep. Why is that the age? Can I just see what it is? Open. That does not seem... Why is it so old? Why is it? Why don't I have a? This has like 3 items in it. There's like 3 items in it. Did my backup folder get full or something? Because they save this in like backups or whatever. Oh yeah, that's full. It's full. It's full. It stopped backing up in last year. It stopped backing up a year ago, and nothing ever told me that. All these are here. So there exists some data somewhere. There exists some data somewhere that can give me what I want, I think. Hang on. Unreal Engine data table row doesn't exist anymore or something. Oh, big F. Data table are missing their row structure. Corrupted data table blueprint. I tried to export it and it didn't export. I can export as JSON maybe? Downloads, items. Fuck. You must make a redirect. It's the same name though. It's the same name. What would I be? I would be redirecting to the same name? I mean, I can try. Where are the redirects? Hang on. Is it default engine? Class redirects, function redirects, property redirects. Is there a struct redirect? Yes, there is. Let me copy one of these. My project dot f item data. I guess you don't need the F, do you? I'm just, it's the same though, so. I feel like that's not going to do. I feel like that's not gonna do nothing. Oh, is it telling me? Is it good? Are we good? Okay. See if we're good. No, we're not. Okay, I need to be right back. Okay. I'm gonna hop off for the day, guys. Thank you all for being here.